Hello, my name is Larry Fleming, and I live in downtown Atlanta. When I'm here, the closest I get to getting away from all the concrete and glass is when I take my walk through the trees. So, to really escape, I go camping. This series will show you how I do it, and hopefully show you how you can do it too. Well, the day is here. It's time to pack up and let's get up to the campsite. I'm going to take everything that I showed you in our first video. So, one tent. It's helpful to have something to carry everything out to the site and to the car with. I'm all packed, so we can go ahead and close this up. And we're ready to go. So let me get in the car and we'll head on up. We're all packed. I've got gas in the car and we're going to head on up. We have a new law in Georgia, and you need to be aware of whatever your state has, that we're not allowed to touch cell phones or anything else in the car while we're driving, because too many people abuse that. So I'm going to turn this off and see you when we reach the campsite. Maybe I can get a little bit of footage of us pulling into the park, but got to put this up, and I'll see you in a little while. Notice how many people are going faster than me? I think it's funny. It's a cool bridge going across part of Lake Altoona. When you arrive at camp, first thing you got to do is to stage all your gear. If you packed in reverse order, the important things should come out first. But some things you can't put up until you put something else up, like things that go in the tent can't really go anyplace until the tent is put up. So anyhow, we're going to get this camp set up, and I'll try to cover all the essentials as I'm doing it. I hope you have a great time up here camping. It takes very little work to really set up a camp. It's going to go by pretty fast, so enjoy. Yes, setting up the camp chair is an important thing to do. If you get tired of working, you can sit down for a little bit. You can see that I've got a lot of shade right now because of the trees. So you keep things staged that way. Keep your food out of the sun directly. The tent. The most important thing you got to set up. Go around and police the area you're going to put it there. Get rid of sticks and rocks and things that would stick up and be uncomfortable or poke holes. Get your tarp set up. The tarp helps to protect, again, the bottom of the tent, which should be and remain waterproof. I have a tent with the poles built in. You can get different styles. I like this one because it's pretty easy for one person to set up, and it's good size. Once you have the tent assembled, with this being a freestanding tent, which means you don't have to have it staked down to be able to stand freely, you can move it to the right position. And you can see I have a door now on this side. You can kind of see the outline of it. If I had a lake view, I'd have the door pointing to the lake view. The lake is on the other side of the hill behind the tent. Sometimes when you start staking, you realize that you don't have it positioned correctly. So just pull it up and reposition it and try it again. I have a doghouse in the back, which I'll show you in a little bit, so I had to allow room for that. The stakes should go in pretty easy because you also have to take them out again. If you have to drive them in with a jackhammer, they're going to be difficult to pull out. So check the ground as you're putting them in. Most of the campsites are all prepared. The dirt's filled dirt and it's got gravel on top. It's easy to maneuver around. Once the tent is assembled, you can start putting things in it. It's also best to pull back the door coverings, keeping the screen side still in place to keep critters out, but to get some air circulation that way. You assemble the poles, and like I said, I have this doghouse in the back, which is good for keeping boxes and bags and stuff out of the way inside the tent, so it gives me more floor space. This is my first camp out with this tent, dry anyway, dry camp out. So I need to spray my waterproofing on for the season. You can get these cans at any of your sporting goods stores or camping stores. Just cover as much as you can with it. It's a waterproofer that will help to seal it up. If these things get wet, they can wick the water inside, so this helps the water to run off. After I do this, I will also spray some on the tent. Pretty easy to do. And you should only have to do it once a season. Now it's time to put the rain fly in place. This will be the first thing that catches the rain, if you get any, keeping it off of your tent. If I thought we were going to really have a bad time with rain, I'd go ahead and put a tarp over the top of it. I'll show you that in a later video. But I've got large tarps that I can hang across a rope between trees, and that basically provides shade if you need it and keeps the rain off. Sometimes I'll also put one over my food area, so that if it is going to rain the whole weekend, I'm not trapped inside my tent. Got to stake the rain fly down because it would blow around otherwise, and pulling it away from the tent, so in case it does get wet, it won't wick through to the tent. State parks have these handy hooks to put your lights up on. The one in the foreground here is a battery powered one. The other one is a propane one, so I will get the fuel for it and hook it up. Now, inside the tent, you can see how roomy this tent is. It would probably list this as an 8-man tent, No, thank you. I'm quite happy to be the only one in here. At most one other person. Clean out your water tank and make some bug juice. Mine's lemonade. Begin to get your cooking and dining table set up. I'm on a camp stove so I can heat up coffee and water or anything else I'm going to cook. Always have a way to collect trash. You really want to leave your site cleaner than you found it. And after the day is over, if you've got food items in that trash, you can take that bag up to your trash can. They have them at the end of the road, short walk up. That way you're not leaving food out. Dutch ovens. Okay, I'm done. Get me some lemonade. Cool off a bit. I sped all that setup up pretty fast in the video, so I didn't bore you with it, but it really didn't take that long. Bringing down some chips for later. Again, more lemonade. Stay hydrated. You can't tell by looking, but it is quite warm. It's in the 70s early in the morning. So by this time, it's probably about 80. Whenever you open your cooler, close it up quickly. That ice will not last if you keep it open. For setup days, I like to bring my own food with me. So I brought a sandwich. It's a late lunch, but I get to sit down now and relax. All the main work is done. Yeah, everyone should have their handy dandy pocket knife. Cut my sandwich in half. I'll probably eat both, but if I don't want to eat both, I put the other half up if I want. I do have music running in the background, so you really can't enjoy the peacefulness that I'm enjoying while I'm sitting there having lunch. An occasional car will go by, but for this first day, I didn't have any campers near me. Well, I'm basically set up. You can hear the birds. Plane just went over. I've got a few campsites that I can see at a distance, but there's nobody really close by. So I'm a little bit secluded here, which I like. The campsites down near the water tend to fill up, and that's where the rowdy people go, so I'll let them have it. I don't mind walking a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to fish today, but probably tomorrow. I have to go get some bait anyway. We got 2 or 3 types of bass here. catfish if you want to fish deep. I'm going to fish from the shore, and it's hit and miss. It depends. Some people caught some last week out here from the shore. Just depends on whether you catch the fish out there moving around. Not quite to sundown yet. We're going to take a little walk, see what we have in our campsite here and around. These campsites are all empty, but if there were people in them, I recommend walking around. It's courtesy to not walk through somebody else's campsite. That's where we're from. We're going to walk around a bit and come back. The only real thing to worry about, and I haven't seen any yet, is poison oak. If I spot some, I'll point it out to you. It basically has 3 oak leaves together on a stem. Poison oak here, poison ivy further north. I lucked out because the time I'm coming up here, the other campsites are empty. Quick walk down to the lake. You can see a motorboat coming in from the right. A lot of boaters out here. They're either out here skiing or fishing. Many acres of water from this lake Alpena. Just want to let you know that sometimes snakes will lie out on top of these rocks, so just watch for them, but you can usually see them if you look. Definitely a beautiful view out here. You can hear the waves coming from the boats as they go by. Try some fishing out here tomorrow. Looks like a couple of spots I can get into. One of the advantages of camping in a state park, they have proper facilities here. So we can walk back now. We're not too far. At the end of a long day, the bunk always feels good. See you in the morning. I filled up the pot last night, so I don't have to do it this morning. Okay, coffee is on. Let's just get on to getting breakfast ready. We're cooking breakfast, so I have to get a charcoal base started, and we'll get that going right now. I should have done this last night, but I didn't. That's not a big deal. The weather's fine. Let's get this ready. paper. You can use newspaper, but I don't take the newspaper anymore, so paper towels will work. All you do is you fill it full of charcoal, put some paper underneath and light it. The chimney effect of the metal will force all the heat up and it will start your coals for you. And they will get all cooked. It takes a little time, so you gotta do it. That's one of the first things you have to do after coffee. We're watching the coals get ready. It's not as bad as watching grass grow, but you get to see that it takes a few minutes and the flames start coming out the top and the coals start turning white on the edges. That's when you're ready. Good morning. We're having French toast with bacon. So let's get our food out. Eggs, bread. We'll need butter. And bacon. Little cinnamon. Once the coals are ready, you pour them out on the ground. You can see I put a couple of sticks in there that will hold the griddle here in a little bit. But get your coals spread out. If you need more, you can add more. This is already seasoned and ready to go, so it's just a matter of putting it on there and getting it hot. Okay, fire's ready. Let me go get my bacon and we'll get this started. Let it heat up for a little bit. One of the things I'm not bothering to show you, this takes a little extra time, is keeping everything hygienic in the kitchen area. I'm cooking with bacon. I had it in my hand, so now I gotta go wash my hands as soon as I get this set up. So enjoy the sound of bacon frying. Everybody should love that. You can add more coals. It looks like you got a cold spot. Bacon tends to stick because of the sugar
curing in it. Just break it loose. I know you know how to cook French toast, so I'm just showing you a still picture of it. I pour the extra eggs around for a little bit of scrambled eggs with it. Okay, it's time to eat. You can, if you want, heat it up, but I'm fine with it cold. You can heat it up by putting it in a pan of boiling hot water. Just in case you think I'm not eating healthy, sugar-free. The other way I do it sometimes is with pure maple syrup. So here we are, French toast and bacon, just like home. A little bit of scrambled eggs on the side. No sense in you watching me eat, so I can eat in peace. I'll catch you after breakfast. And I'll show you how to clean that griddle. I took the griddle off the fire, by the way, so it's not continuing to cook. I'll do a little bit of scraping on it, and then I'll put it back on to heat it up to do a final cleanup of it. So I'll show you how to do that in a bit. Once you scrape off most of what's on here, put it on the fire and heat it up. It's still warm to the touch. Then we use some hot water to glaze it and get it all cleaned up, and throw a bit of oil on it to re-season it, and we're done. It's all done. I'll just leave it right against the tree until I need it next. Breakfast is over. Everything's cleaned up. I think we're going to try to do a little bit of fishing here in a little bit. In case you didn't notice, in the opening sequence I didn't have any hair on my face. That's because this is my second trip up here. The first time we came up, it was clear when I took off, but it started raining when I got up here and got everything set up. And it rained the entire time. I tried to film, but one of the cameras got moisture in it and stopped working, so I gave up. So this is my second attempt. This weekend, it's perfect. Couldn't ask for a better time. I can see blue sky all around me. The weather is very comfortable right now. It's still before noon, but it's very comfortable. Sometimes, like I told you before, this is a tailgate party. Sometimes they cancel games because of rain. You just simply can't go. I will show you some of that footage later on, along with how to survive rain on a campout. If it's not bad, you can handle it. I can certainly handle it. I didn't have any problem personally, but the camera didn't like it, so I couldn't film it. Anyhow, I'm going to get ready to try to do some fishing. I got to swing by and grab me some bait. This lake is full of bass, I think 3 different types. And we're just going to go out there and see if we can catch some. I've already got dinner planned, but I wouldn't mind catching a fish or two. Can always cook them up later. Okay, catch you later.
Found a nice place in the shade to do some fishing. I've caught fish here before, but it's hit and miss. We'll see how we do today. Well, you know what they say, a bad day fishing is better than a good day at work. Well, we're going to see how we do out here. See plenty of minnows in the shallows, and they're water bugs, so we'll see what we can come up with. It would be better off if it was earlier. It's starting to get hot now. The fish go deeper, but I'm out here to enjoy the outdoors, and I'm doing that. Beautiful day out here on the lake. Didn't catch anything today, but that's okay. They'll be here tomorrow. This is why you need to get out of the city. It's so peaceful out here. When you're walking along, everybody waves. Cars go by, they wave at you. Not in the city. Kids are out playing on the lake. You didn't hear them, you just hear the calls of nature. It's very peaceful out here. It's where I come to recharge. Time to start getting dinner ready. I try to get everything pre-cut as much as possible, just doing a little fine tuning. I will need 2 of these full of charcoal because I'm going to have 2 Dutch ovens going. One for the chili and one for the cornbread. I'm going to use the bigger one for the cornbread because I need it to cook more evenly. The stew is just going to be, I'll just stir it occasionally. Nothing like the smell of bacon cooking. Besides wanting to have the bacon cook a little bit before I add anything else, I also use it to season the pan again. Once the bacon is basically cooked, it's time to add hamburger. With chili, you can use pretty much any kind of meat you want. This is just regular ground round. You can add turkey hamburger if you want. It's really good with venison. There are 100 different recipes. Having something to lift the lid is important because it's hot.
Once you've got the hamburger cooked, now is the time if you want to get rid of some of the grease. I'm pouring the grease right on top of a pile of coals that are over there. So it will burn off really quick. Let's go ahead and add the sausage and onions. Let those cook for a little bit. Went ahead and opened all the cans, so it's just a matter of bringing them over and dumping them in the pot. You do this, just pour everything in, liquid included. All seasonings are always to taste, and it's better off to have a lesser amount because you can always add more. It's hard to take away. We want basically a tablespoon of chili powder. I use garlic powder in just about everything. Half a teaspoon. Paprika, about another half a teaspoon. Cumin, about a half a teaspoon. And a little hot sauce, because I like it a little bit on the hot side. Not too much, you can still add more later. Let's stir this up and then get it cooking. And we're basically done now, we just gotta let this cook. It needs to cook for close to an hour, so let me look at my time. Well, to make our cornbread, what I've done is I've pre-mixed all the dry ingredients. If you do that before you come up, it's a lot easier. And I've also lined my Dutch oven because I want to have an easy cleanup, because I want to use this one in the morning for breakfast. So we just dump our dry ingredients in. The recipe will be online on the video so you can see it. Eggs for this. About a
cup of milk. I'm going to mix it and see how much I need. This is my second batch of coals. Put a little bit down on the bottom, and we'll put the rest on top in a second. Get the Dutch oven here full of ready to cook cornbread. You can see I can lift these things with the handles until they get hot. Get them spread out evenly. If we do it right, it should be about 20-30 minutes. Time to check the chili. Dinner is done. Time to get them off of the fire. My timing was perfect. That's my alarm. You can see I gathered some wood for tonight. We're going to need it for our campfire. Well, that looks good. Smells good too. They make stands you can put lids on. You can also get bases if you want to put the Dutch ovens up on top of the table. Don't do it without a base because they're hot and they burn. What you don't have watching this is you don't have the smells that I'm enjoying. This really smells good. Now, I know the timing was right, but you can also see that my knife is clean as it comes out. It's hot. Be sure to cover everything back up. Keep it warm and keep the critters away. I made enough to take back with me. I had a couple of days worth of chili at home. It's good.
Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! The one thing that Brown wants to hear. There's only one thing that appeals to their ears. Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! One more time! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! The one thing that Brown wants to hear. There's only one thing that appeals to their ears. Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! When bar or a pub, the crowd may not notice you much. They didn't come out here to listen to you. They're here for wine, whiskey, and such. They came to talk trash about the people they know, to flirt with a hot lad or lass. There's only one thing that gets them to sit up and get off their fat, lazy tail. Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! The one thing the crowd wants to hear. There's only one thing that appeals to their ears. Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! I think we'll agree it's been captive enough, the ransom we've all had to pay. How many gold coins have gone out of your purse at the end of a long toiling day? We must work together to start this protest. I'll need your full cooperation. Just join me in singing this protesting song to end all beer's incarceration. Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! The one thing the crowd wants to hear. There's only one thing that appeals to their ears. Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! I know it's a fight that we can't seem to win, my friends, if we'll only stay strong. If we work together, we'll get the thing done. Make right where the world seems so wrong. Make your contributions to help us today. Enlist every woman and man. Just pay the bartender the ransom required and free all the beer that you can. Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! The one thing the crowd wants to hear. There's only one thing that appeals to their ears. Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! One more time! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! The one thing the crowd wants to hear. There's only one thing that appeals to their ears. Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer! Free beer!
Last day, time to get up. Good morning. Slept good. There's a few critters running around like squirrels, but nothing bigger all night, so I slept really good. Okay, I'm back. I got skunk fishing again, but that's okay. It's called fishing for a reason and not catching. Okay, I had one on, a good size one, and just as I pulled my line in, I had to laugh. I pulled my line in, was tying it up, I looked down, this big striped bass. He swam right below where I was at, right over to where I had the line out. Timing is everything. After that long, strenuous bout of fishing, I'm going to take a nap. I'll catch you in a bit. Well, I really had a great time this weekend. A couple of days of fishing and nothing to show for it, but it doesn't matter. I enjoyed sitting out there. You notice I'm not playing music or listening to anything. The sounds of nature are all you need when you're out here camping. Yeah, you can bring music out, and we had our campfire singing, although it was mock campfire singing, but you get the idea. So packing up basically is the reverse of setting up. Get everything staged, and you start loading up. The tent breaks down just as easily as it went up. I already pulled the stakes up. I had trouble with one of them. I had to actually dig it out. Somehow it got stuck in the clay. the tent's all bagged up. I'm going to put the accessories in and tie everything back up to where it's supposed to be. Now the ride home. Thank you for watching, and hope you're looking forward to my next episode. I'm looking forward to getting out. Camping with Larry. Okay, this isn't a Marvel film, so no cookie at the end. See you next camp out.